What makes an effective Christmas ad?
I think a good Christmas ad always has a good story. I think story writing in films and adverts and stuff is key in general, but with Christmas ads now we expect to see this big extravagant story.
It's a classic every year.
Yeah.
It's got to be the ultimate story.
Yeah, they're almost like short films in a way.
Yeah. I love Christmas ads. It's such a fun time.
I love them. They're just like a really different sort of advert as well. Usually throughout the year there's a lot of product kind of focused ads and stuff like that, but then you get these short films that come out at Christmas, and like one thing that I've noticed about them is they're all centered around relationships as well. So like you've got the Boots ad from this year, that's about her and her relationship with her family and particularly her grandma, and then like the Man on the Moon ad, the John Lewis one in 2015-16 I think, that was about a relationship between a girl on Earth and like her friendship to this man that was on the moon.
And this year they've kept with that alien theme.
Yeah.
This time it's the spaceship crashing.
Yeah.
It's a relationship between the young boy and the alien, and there's so much tension of that relationship the whole time, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. I think the reason why they do that is because Christmas is almost like, it's about relationships, and everyone's longing for a good, meaningful relationship.
But there was a good one this year that actually where the relationships were slightly tense and there were like all these looks of, awkward. I can't remember whose that one was. Do you know the one I mean? Is it the BBC's one?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really, that's almost more honesty of relationship.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's really long, but I really like it. Because actually you get the, kind of laugh.
It's kind of real.
Yeah, it's very real. So it isn't that glossed over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are about relationships, and it's the only ad series that I actively Google to find the Christmas ads and watch them all, and then end up in tears.
I think an effective Christmas ad is one that's memorable. Like you say, almost all of the big brands now kind of create a Christmas ad, and so it needs to stand out, and we all have those conversations of, you know, like, what's your favourite one of the year, and have you seen the John Lewis advert yet? And so I think that in order to kind of be an effective ad, it really needs to stand out from the masses, and I think that the way to do that really is by kind of generating emotion in the audience, and I think that people tend to remember how it made them feel, so whether that's something that makes them laugh, so I think of sort of the Aldi Kevin the Carrot sort of series and the puns that they've been able to kind of put throughout that sort of make people laugh, or whether it makes them kind of emotional and tugs on the heartstrings, so like the Apple iPad example as well.
I'm just crying.
Yeah.
I was just tearing up. That was a real emotional moment for me. Yeah, they were good this year.
And those are the ones that you remember, I think, and therefore really become effective kind of for the brand.
Do Christmas ads give a good return on investment? There's a year when I actually went to a specific store and bought their turkey because of their Christmas ad. I just couldn't help it. Have you ever bought anything?
I think the supermarkets are really effective in doing that. So particularly with the food, obviously food is such a huge part of Christmas for lots of people.
Yeah.
And
it's
I
the
think
battle of the
about
mince pies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which one are you going to go with?
Yeah. I think about, you know, M&S in particular always do it really well. You see the delicious looking desserts and, you know, you want to go out and buy them.
Yeah.
But interestingly, I saw Co-op's initiative that they've done this year, which is actually slightly different to that. So they've essentially scrapped their sort of typical Christmas ad. And so rather than putting that budget and time and space towards creating a big lavish advert, they've actually used that time to promote community fridges, which are places that local communities can go to donate and take away food. And essentially it reduces food wastage and obviously promotes sustainability in that sense. But I think also it promotes a sense of community, which for so many people is so important at Christmas time. And so I really liked that initiative. It kind of directly contrasts what a lot of the big supermarkets do, where they do show this sort of lavish spread of food.
Yes.
And actually they've been able to use their Christmas ad kind of budget and time to sort of promote something that is important to them as a brand.
We saw the Body Shop do that last year, that they actually shone a spotlight on female youth homelessness, and they used their Christmas ad as a spoken word piece, and it was really effective, but it was definitely off trend. But you have to take your hat off to brands that do that, where they actually go, actually Christmas isn't all about us making shitloads of money. They do anyway. Actually, there is them, in a sense, they're giving back, that sort of community engagement. So hats off to the Co-op for doing that this year, for going for, highlighting food poverty effectively.
And I think, whilst the question was, does it generate a good return on investment? I mean, it's difficult to say in that sort of example, I suppose. But I think, whilst it might not make me want to go out and buy a dessert that I've seen on the television, it does make me sort of respect them as a brand and understand their brand values and ethics, and also understand the importance of something like community fridges, or for your example as well, the different sort of things that they might want to highlight are really important, I think, for us to consider, especially at a time like Christmas.
Do Christmas ads have a place for smaller brands?
Yes, definitely. I know they cost a lot to make, and it is a risk, but I think smaller brands definitely need to step up and be doing this level, because there's nothing better than communicating with your audience through the ad.
You don't need a huge budget.
No, you don't. No.
So the Boots ad this year probably cost, I don't know, I mean, it had a Oscar award winning director on there who I think he directed The King's Speech.
Hundreds.
So it was a lot to make. But you don't need to spend that much. You just need a good story.
Well, certainly through the whole year, we found that video is becoming massively important in social media, in all of the communications. We know that if we're using video instead of just static images, that we get better engagement. And so smaller brands, yes, they do need to be looking at this type of thing. But it's not about the money, because cameras are good. They're not necessarily having to go to TV quality, because a lot of them will just be using their ads on social media, putting it out on YouTube. But investing in a good story is what it's about.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell the story well. And I don't even think they need to have the big celebrities. We saw quite a few celebrity ads this year, and I think actually some of those big brands wasted those celebrities terribly. What was the point?
The Sports Direct example springs to mind with that. Obviously, it had all the sporting stars in. We've also got Jenna Coleman in the Boots ad. And I know that, David, you wasn't even aware that
I didn't even realise that she was a celebrity in there, because they told the story so well. They didn't need the celebrity to boost the engagement on it.
And I think that's positive for smaller brands to know, because obviously their budgets wouldn't necessarily cover the cost of something like a celebrity, but we've seen perfectly effective Christmas ads that don't need them.
It's all about the story. Tell the story well, and the budget actually can stretch to that. It's storytelling.
So, what was everyone's favourite Christmas ad of this year?
So, I think mine's probably the Boots ad. I really like the story. The story itself was really well written. I think what also impresses me is how they managed to make it so product focused, but centered around the story. That's a really difficult job to do. Getting a good story and focusing on a product is really hard to make without it being too obvious. And that's the struggle that we had with Cycle King. Without overloading the story, how can you get the product in there that you want to highlight?
It's that subtlety. I thought that actually Apple, yes, they have hundreds of products, but their use of just one product, which was basically there throughout the whole story, was brilliant. And yes, they were a tearjerker for me. But my favourite ad is definitely Cycle King. I think that was brilliant. Small brand, great story. The product was in there, but it was still had that joy, that life, that spark to it. We had a great young actress who just did a fantastic job, and brilliant music, just made you want to smile, and it felt Christmassy. To me, that was top ad.
There was a great team behind it as well.
The
best.
The team behind them were really good.
Yeah, they're the ones you want to go to.
I think my favourite for this year has got to be the Audi A Banana Scrooge advert. It just made me smile. I love the puns, the characters as well. Obviously, they've now kind of got this formula that we come to expect year on year. And it's almost like now we look forward to seeing what Kevin the Carrot and his friends get up to. And obviously it did have that kind of small celebrity feature in it with Marcus Rashford as the radish, which was great.
Marcus Radishford.
That's the one. So and you know, obviously they've got some products assigned to it as well. They've got their sort of soft toys and merchandise that they sell. It's just become really effective for them, I think, and
it does work well.
It made me smile, and I think it's what Christmas is all about.
So I wonder what your favourite ad is this Christmas. Comment below.